guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Faith. I'm a registered nurse. On this channel I talk about general leveling up, especially in your career, and for those nurses who want to relocate from their country to the US, I'm sharing my experience with you guys. So if you're interested, please stick around and learn from this channel, and don't forget to subscribe. So today guys, I'm talking about the documents that you're supposed to prepare so that your journey will be a little bit smoother as you start your USRN journey. So let's get right into it. The first document, guys, is the CV. I don't know if you ever gotten a job without your CV. So your first document that you're supposed to look at the moment you start thinking about this journey, your CV. So your CV is very important. That will represent you even when you are going to sit for interviews with the agencies. If you are looking for an agency, even at the time when you'll be applying for a job in the US, because the moment you step out of your country, you're supposed to have a job in the US. So your CV will be a representation of yourself when you're not there. So start looking at your CV, polish your CV, write it well, remove those spelling mistakes, put it in the right format, and all that. There are so many tutorials on how to write a good CV. I'm not so perfect with CV. I had to learn myself, and write your CV well so that when the time comes when you start applying to agencies, when the time comes when you'll be applying to a hospital that is interested in you, your CV will talk for you even before you start talking to those people. So go look at your CV, make sure your CV is okay and it is polished, and it will represent you the way you are supposed to, because someone can just turn you down because of your CV. And of course you're a nurse. If you went through nursing school and you finished and you're practicing, you're a good nurse. But then if your CV does not reflect you, then no one will know that. So take time with your CV, look at your CV, polish it before you start throwing it out. Second document, your passport. Your passport is very important. And sometimes when agencies are requiring documents from you, the very first thing they'll ask after your CV is your passport. They need to know if you can travel, need you to. If you can travel out to go take your NCLEX. If you are able to travel out anytime they want you to do something that might not be within your country. So get your passport ready. I know so many people that don't have passport. I myself didn't have a passport until I started this journey. So, but I applied for my passport before even I got an agency. So this is something very important that you need to have. And I understand that passport don't come out within a day. So you are supposed to apply for it and go through those processes and wait for it to be ready so that it can be available for you for use. So as early as now, go apply for your passport. It will come in very handy. That's the second document that you are supposed to get ready.
Okay guys, so I forgot to include the RN license as one of the very important documents that you should just put in order when you start this journey. If your license is expired, you need to have it current. You need to go and renew it, and it should be current, and you should be currently actively practicing as a registered nurse in your own country. So just remember that when you start this process, just make sure that you have a current active practicing license. It will be of a great help so that you can sit the NCLEX without problems.
Third document, your nursing school transcripts. Very important. You are supposed to have your nursing school transcripts. I know there are people who left nursing school and then they never went back to collect their transcript because they already have the license and they are working. So if you haven't collected your transcript, go collect it, and also just make sure that when the time comes when they will want your transcript from your school to the CGFNS, the principal that is there, whoever is responsible for that, can do that for you, because sometimes schools mess up. You ask for a transcript, they send a transcript to CGFNS that doesn't meet the required hours of your training that can match the US academic system. So just ensure that the person who is in charge of that is knowledgeable enough to know and has done this before, so that when that time comes when they send your transcript to the CGFNS, CGFNS does not turn your transcript down because the hours that were indicated did not meet what the US standards are. Because there are people, they put in wrong details, or they might leave out other details that are very important. So just ensure that you have your transcript, and the other person who is supposed to handle your transcript at least has done this before, because once they mess up something small, you'll have to redo it again. CGFNS will not lock you out because of your school's mistake, but they will not process your file. So you'll have to go back to your school and they will have to redo it again. So just make sure that you have these things in order. It's not you who will send your transcript, but there is another person who will send your transcript, and they should be well versed with what CGFNS wants. So that is the third document that you're supposed to get ready. Your high school certificate, very important. It is needed by the CGFNS. And I know some people, yes, they have their high school certificate, but they don't have it physically. Maybe you've left it in your parents' home and you are living somewhere else currently. Go look for that certificate so that you have it, because when CGFNS wants it, they will want you to upload it on their site so that they can add it to your academic credentials. So just get that ready. I know so many of you have it. These days, I don't think there is people who leave high school and leave their certificates there. So yeah, go look for a certificate, your high school certificate. Make sure you have it. In your country, you may call it a diploma, but in my country, we call it a high school certificate. So go look for it. You will need it. Your birth certificate, very important also. Yeah, birth certificates, most of us have them. But I know people who, yes, they have their birth certificate, but they don't bother to know where their parents have put their birth certificates. So go look for your birth certificate. Go look at your birth certificate and match your names with the other documents that you have. You see, when we grow up, when we are born, our parents give us names. But when we go on with our lives and go to school, we may add our names or modify our names to our likings, and that those names may not match your birth certificate's name. So if you have those errors, correct them right now. You will go to your birth office, that is wherever you are, and change those names or align those names. Just make sure they match all the documents. You may have your ID with an additional name, and your birth certificate doesn't have that name. So just make sure that you have the right names in your birth certificate. And this also applies to your family members, your kids. Make sure their documents and their birth certificates align, because if they don't, at some point you'll have to explain. You'll have to go and look for an explanation to show that these are the same people. So get your birth certificates ready for your kids, for yourself, for your spouse. It's very important. It will save you headache later in the journey, because you may, at the point when you're applying your passport, you may require the passport very urgently, and your names and your birth certificate, or your names and your ID and birth certificates don't match, and then you'll have to run around like a headless chicken, basically, just to put those things together, and you might even pay more so that people can do these things faster for you. So just take care of that earlier in the process when you still have time. Document that I want to talk to you about is your marriage certificate. This might come later in the process. Most agencies or the earlier on processes don't really require your marriage certificate, but later in the process you will require your marriage certificate after you've done your NCLEX and you want to file your visas for your spouse, for yourself, for your kids. Then you'll need your marriage certificate. So if you did your wedding earlier and you didn't collect your marriage certificate, or you just did a traditional wedding and it is not counted as marriage in your country, and you haven't gotten your marriage certificate yet, or you haven't gotten married and you are planning to, just do these things earlier on, because later when they need it, you may end up paying someone extra cash for them to process it faster for you. You don't need that. You don't want to overspend your money. So start earlier and go look for these certificates early. And also with your marriage certificates, look at the names. Make sure everything is okay and it's matching every other documents that you have, so that it doesn't bring confusions later on in the process. And what else do I want to say about marriage? Marriage certificate, especially in our country, right now there are some embassies that are requiring a certified copy. Yes, there is that copy that you are given on your wedding or during the customary marriage, but there is also another certified copy that you're supposed to log into our eCitizen, if you are in Kenya, eCitizen portal, and also apply for a certified one that you'll go collect at the Sharia house. So just ensure that you know very well what you have, and do your research. If the embassy wants that, please look for it earlier on, because government offices can be slow, and government offices can be a little bit corrupt, and people might want you to, if they know you are in a hurry, they might want you to give them a little bit something before they do something for you. So you don't want to be caught in that rush and spend extra cash that is unnecessary for that time. And just do this earlier on. I'm telling you from my experience, because I have spent a lot of money, extra cash that I didn't plan for, because of these documents. So just put that in mind and work on that early enough. The next document that I want to talk about is the police clearance. Now, this will come later on in the process. You'll need to show your police records, and that is your criminal background. So you have to get your police clearance certificate. This will come on later, but after you've done your NCLEX, just collect it, just apply for it, because you'll need it for your visa processing. So just do it early enough. Don't wait for the day your agency will be pushing you very hard. They want your police clearance and all these documents before they file your case. You see, when you do it earlier, things will move faster for you. People will not be pushing back your file because it has no enough documents that are supposed to be there. So just do this earlier on. The next document is your driver's license. This will also come on later in the process, but it's good you start practicing to drive earlier on, and also get your driver's license earlier on, because most of the agencies, they will require you to have a driver's license. It's not really mandatory, but they encourage people to have it so that it will be easy for you to get another driver's license when you land in the US, because you have an experience with driving. And they also say that it is a necessity to have a vehicle in the US so that you can move around easily. So just take note of that. This is a miscellaneous document that might not be very important in the beginning of the process, but later on you may need it. So just, if you have time, start going to driving school, start practicing how to drive, and just make sure you know how to drive before that time comes when they'll need your driver's license. Now, this last document is a document that I never thought about. It is a letter. Basically, if you're a single parent, a mother or a father of a kid or a child that you want to let them go with you to the US, and there is another person on the birth certificate, your spouse, not your spouse, but the other partner that you got the baby with, and their name appears on their birth certificate, please ensure that you have a letter for them consenting that you will be exiting the country with this child. Or if they are dead, you might need to present their death certificate. So an embassy may not allow you to get out of the country with a kid that you share with another person without their without their consent. So just ensure that you have that letter. I think you are supposed to write that letter with a lawyer, and it is supposed to be notarized or something like that, so that it's authentic that this person has allowed you to exit the country with the baby. So just, that's a miscellaneous document that I realize people are dealing with, and if you are a single parent, consider that. So yeah. So guys, thank you so much for sticking around. This has been a short video, but I thought it's very important that you know this. Please make sure these documents are ready with you when you're starting this process. It will make your journey a little bit easier. When they want them and you present them immediately, things will go a little faster for you. So, and it also will also save you time and save you money. So when you still have time, these documents that I've talked about, please put them in order so that your journey will be a little bit easier. That is the video for today, guys. That's what I wanted to share today. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, because I'm also doing vlogs on this channel, sharing the other side of my life. And I know you guys will want to know how life will be when I land in the US, and that's why I wanted to start vlogging, and that's what I'm doing. I don't really have a camera or a very good those equipments that can help me move around and take videos, but I'm trying with my phone. I hope you guys love the vlogs too. And if you haven't watched the vlogs, please go watch them and also support the vlogs. Otherwise, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and also comment in the comment section whatever other documents that you maybe encountered that you never knew they will want. Put them in the comment section so that people can learn from that. And yeah, I hope this video was informative, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.